Fly. That night, I wake up to a screaming sound. It's a dream at first. My bed scanning me with bright shafts of light. But instead of scars and healed bones, the scanner finds a weapon buried inside me. A knife hidden in my chest, pulsing, quick. And that's where the dream shifts into a nightmare. An alarm shrieks, an ice pick of sound that I can't shut out, even with my hands over my ears, as sharp and hard as anger. The alarm penetrates my body, rattles my bones, lances my frenzied heart. Finally, I sputter awake, look around in a panic. The screaming doesn't stop, as if I'm still dreaming. Then I realize it's the Serrano jittering on my bedside table. It must be malfunctioning. Quiet, I tell it. The noise shuts off. I pick it up, hesitantly put it in my ear. If the shrieking starts again, it'll deafen me. But it speaks calmly now. Emergency message. I tap it, and my sister's voice rushes into my head. I'm so sorry, Frey. He wouldn't let me warn you until now. It's because you wore that stupid red jacket. How could you be so brain missing? After what I said, couldn't you tell you were supposed to wear the white one? How could you not know it was a test, that he made me do it? Now he thinks you'll put Cole before him, that you won't follow orders, that you'll warn them. I sit up in bed. Warn them about what? He's moved up the timetable. We're pushing the Palafoxes out of the ruins tonight. The attack starts in 2 minutes. My eyes blink, trying to resolve meaning in the darkness. It's like being in a dream again. My body lanced, my scanning rays, my heart vibrating fast as a pulse knife. I take slow breaths to calm myself. I have an escape kit. This is something I know how to do, something I've been getting ready for my whole life. But all my reflexes and training falter when it hits me. My father only thinks I'm worth 2 minutes warning. I cling to my sister's voice. All you have to do is get to the ruins, Frey. We'll take control of them first, like everyone expects. Coming from the south on foot, the soldiers won't dare shoot. They still think you're me. You'll be fine. You can do this. Yes, escaping, finding my way out. I'm Frey, the one who uses her fists. This is the only thing I know how to do. I spring up from the bed, jump into my sweats and running shoes and jacket, shove my stolen dried fruit, fire starter, and plastic bags into the pockets. A desperate idea hits me, and I grab the tulle lining of my ball gown. With one kick, the loosened light fixture flies off the wall. It fits in my hand perfectly, metal edges glinting in the dark. The house security must have heard my Serrano screaming, and they've seen my curious behavior. They'll be sending someone up to check on me. If my father had given me more time, I could have gotten ready quietly, stealthily, but he doesn't trust me anymore. Because I wore the red jacket, like a lovelorn bubblehead, like someone whose social life is more important than her mission. Focus. The door pings. Excuse me, Raffia. A male voice comes into the room. This is Warden Reynolds. I'd like to have a word with... I open the door and punch him hard in the face. My improvised weapon giving the blow extra weight. He topples backward, hits the ground. My hand screams with pain. It's been so long since I hit anything. I kick the warden once in the stomach to make sure he stays down. They'll come in numbers now, but the security barracks are all the way downstairs. It's the drones I have to worry about. But I have a plan for that. I run for the billiard room, which has a window overlooking the courtyard, close enough to the tallest tree to jump. Maybe on the way, I tear the ball gown lining into pieces. I aim the fire starter at the strips of tulle, tossing them at curtains and pieces of furniture. The hallways start to fill with smoke. Halfway to the billiard room, a drone comes down the hall, and it buzzes, but it zooms right past me, spraying fire foam. Alarms are ringing in every direction, 1,000 sensors calling for its attention. Someone could reset the drone's priorities to focus on me instead of the fires, but by now my father's attack has started in the rusty ruins. Palafox security has bigger things to worry about than one runaway rich kid. They only have to underestimate me for a few more minutes. In the billiard room, I spill 2 racks of balls in front of the door, grab a pool cue off the wall. One swing of the cue smashes the window to pieces, glittering shards scattering out into the night. It's old-fashioned glass, not safety polymer, so I sweep the cue back and forth to clear the window frame. Stepping out into the dark, I realize that the tree branch is farther away than I thought. My stomach does a little flip. The ground is nothing but blackness below. A few stars sparkle through the jungle canopy. A clatter of balls sounds behind me, a warden coming in, losing her footing. I leap at her, the cue spinning like a lopsided bow in my hands. She raises some kind of stunner, but the heavy end of the cue knocks it from her grip. When she blocks my swing at her temple, I follow with a thrust to her stomach. She's down, but more will come. I have to make the jump. Flinging the cue aside, I run for the window, wishing I had crash bracelets. The cool night wraps around me. My hands grab for the tree branch, palms slapping against smooth bark and holding for a moment. But my momentum carries my feet out and my fingers slip. I fall in ringing silence, but only for a second. A lower branch hits my midsection like a body tackle, knocking the breath from my lungs. The branch bows under my weight, and the rattle of leaves comes from all directions. The flutter of wings, my crash landing, sending a host of creatures stampeding through the canopy. Somehow I hold on. But the window of the billiard room is right there, gaping open, shining light out at me, on me. Sucking in shallow, painful breaths, I start to climb up into the darkness of the dense treetops. The crisscross of the vines pricked with stars. This is what I was made for, but somehow the ecstasy of combat isn't kicking in. Breathing is agony after the gut punch of landing on the branch. The gut punch of father sacrificing me. Rafi was right. Since they stole Sinan from him, my father has wanted to scream to the world, "Take my child, I don't care." He's trading me for a pile of metal. I was just a distraction, a way to give the Palafoxes a false sense of security. This is what I was made for, throwing away. I hear voices from the open window below and freeze. A man in a warden's uniform leans out. He scans the upper branches quickly, then gives the ground below a hard look. The lighting along the paths is flickering on. Two drones waft into position behind the warden, and he sends them out the window with a jerk of his hand. They descend into the garden. Why can't they see me? My body heat must stick out like a brush fire against this cool jungle. Setting my green eye screen to night vision, I realize why. The canopy is full of living things, flocks of birds and scurrying creatures, a lively host all around me. But if the warden looks harder, he'll recognize my shape. I start climbing again, careful not to shake the leaves. The sharp outline of rooftop against open sky is almost within reach, but the branch beneath me bends under my weight as I go farther out. Then I hear a sound against the alarms and shouting below, a slithering, and I remember what Dr. Orteg jokingly warned me about when he put my eyes in. Snakes are cold-blooded, matching the temperature of their environment. They're invisible in heat vision, and they don't like being stepped on.